Hey guys, HDV here and welcome to a brand new video. Today we've got some pretty big information to go over. Riddler has once again been tweeting out, and this time it's about Generation 10, where it's going to be set and some other things about it as well. Really exciting stuff. If you're excited for the video though, make sure to drop a like down below. Let's try and hit 500 likes, it really helps out. Leave a comment with your thoughts on anything we cover in today's video. Subscribe if you're brand new, ring the notification bell. With all of that out of the way, let's get into the video and I really hope that you enjoy. So, starting things off, Riddler has tweeted out a hint towards the next project, and people pretty much got it spot on very, very quickly. So, not one of his best riddles, because he's even come out and said that people got it, you know, pretty spot on already. So, this is a continuation of obviously the Legends EA stuff that he posted recently, where he said that there was going to be news about it. I wanted to hold off from recording about this though, because he was still tweeting a few things out about it, and I just wanted to get all of the information ready for you guys before I made a video about it, just in case he tweeted something else out pretty interesting. But either way, we had Riddler here tweeting out saying new project hint, and then it's the emoji of the kind of hands together, like praying, I guess, that sort of symbol. So instantly people thought, you know, what does this mean? So new project hint, so that's the one that's going to be after Pokemon Legends EA, most likely Generation 10. I very, very doubt that there's going to be like Generation 5 remakes after Legends EA. A lot of people are hoping, and there is still the possibility, should I say, because if Legends EA does come out early 2025, then there's all that time for kind of Generation 5 to come out maybe next November, but I don't think that's going to be the case. I think that ZA is going to come out like kind of mid next year, and then that'll be that, and then obviously Generation 10 will be announced 2026. Pokemon Presents in February. But either way, it says new project hint. So this is basically a hint towards the region of the of this new game in Generation 10. And he says, by the way, this one is not Ikaku, which of course is the code name for Pokemon Legends EA. That's all we could spill now. Enjoy. So that's what he said. So this isn't about Legends EA. It is about the next project, and it's about kind of like folded hands. So instantly people thought it could be something to do with like maybe religion, or kind of, yeah, a country that is maybe very religious or something like that. And people kind of like, I guess, coming out with all these different countries and stuff like that. So that's that. Moving on, we then had this. So he says, obviously, by the way, he's not Ikaku. That's all we could spill now. Enjoy. And then this is obviously people more guessing, like black and white remake, stuff like that. A lot of people kind of coming out with this sort of triangle thing as well. I don't really know what this is, but either way, that's just more kind of speculation about what it is. So that's that. And then moving on, we had him here saying a reply to Sunrise, who said, oh, this is different. Is it post-game or is it an app game? And it says the big one after Ikaku. So obviously it's just kind of confirmation that it is going to be Generation 10. It's the big game after Ikaku. So it's going to be the first big game on the Nintendo Switch 2 for Pokemon. And then they also go on and say, and you know, the corresponding console. So he's basically there just confirming that it is going to be Generation, not confirming it's going to be Generation 10, but the big game after Ikaku is obviously the one we're all expecting to be Generation 10. And he then goes on and says, and you know, the corresponding console. So it's the big one for the next console is basically what he's saying there. And again, people just kind of giving their 2 cents about it. He's still tweeting stuff out about it at this point though, but yeah, he's just kind of giving more and more information, crumbs of information about you know, Legends EA and of course the Generation 10 game that follows it. However then, he then goes on and says, check the replies, few people have nailed it so quickly, lol, good job. So this is where it gets interesting, because most common replies were India or Italy. Now we wait to see which. So India or Italy look very, very likely to be the case for the next region. However though, we have more information about it suggesting that it's actually going to be Italy, which is kind of mad, because I said that not to like toot my own horn or anything, but I did say that quite a few times. I said I think it's going to be Europe, and I think Italy or Germany could definitely be where the region is set. I also really want it to be based in Australia, but I just feel like they were going to do a European country again. I don't know why, they've just been doing it a lot recently, and I just think that, yeah, maybe they're going to do another one for Generation 10. But again, still people are thinking it's Black and White Faithful remake stuff, so it's probably not the majority that reply Gen 10 or Black and White remakes. The least of the replies is Johto Kanto, so it's like a Pokemon Destinies where the regions are set. He talks about Legends EA, Generation 6, let's hope it's Gen 2 remakes. And again, this is just him replying to what people have said, so check the replies. He didn't say which replies were right, he just said a few people nailed it so quickly, good job. So it's kind of, you take of that what you will. Is it the few people that like barely guess? So like if there was a couple of guesses about like Johto, is he talking about that? But again, it's the big game after Ikaku, so it's most likely going to be regarding Generation 10 and most likely the region. We then have Riddler also replying to Absolutely. So Absolutely, if you don't know who they are, they're basically a data miner for Pokemon Masters. And he replied with this sort of like praying emoji. And then Riddler-Ku replied saying near you. So it's near this person. So everyone was like, well, where does he bloody live? Where's this guy from? And then this is where we kind of get a little bit more information about it being set in Italy. So, it's got to be Italy. Absolutely PM post about Pokemon Masters news. And the region is in Masters is Passio, is based heavily on Italy. And then Absolutely, so close to Italy. And then also isn't Absol French, so Italy. And so a lot of people are now thinking it's going to be Italy because it's near this. But like, this is a massive hint. We were all just saying like, where is this guy from? But it looks like he's either French or it's going to be like, it's more sided towards Italy than India, I think. And the fact that he said near you as well kind of also defeats all the guesses about it being like a remake about Johto or anything like that. So it's got to be Generation 10 and it's near this person, and this person is apparently near Italy or something like that. So that's why a lot of people are expecting it to be based on Italy, which again is very, very, I think is quite big in the sense that they are doing so many European countries in a row, because a lot of people would have expected it to be maybe Japan because it's Generation 10, so it's like going to come full circle where it started in Generation 1. Generation 10 is, you know, a big 30th anniversary game, so maybe it goes back there. Like I say, people were speculating America because obviously Worlds is set in America. Like, we just had one in San Francisco, then we're getting a couple more in America. So people were thinking, oh, it could be around there. And especially if it was set in America, you'd then be able to go to Alola and Unova because they were also set in America. So that would have been really cool. But it looks like it's going to be set in Italy. And if Riddler-Ku already knows this, because he literally just tweeted out recently saying there's been like no information. And now he's tweeted out like a week later giving us information that the trailer's going to be soon. And then also the Generation 10 region. So I don't know if he's just messing with us or what. But his source is clearly still, you know, getting information. We also have J.A. Miles here saying, I hope this is Project Bloom info, because Generation 10 feels so far out, especially when you all don't have hints for Legends EA. I really just don't want another region in Europe. And then he says, it's Pokemon related, so it's nothing to do with Project Bloom. And then Ikaku is not a big deal, to be fair. So this is also quite big as well. Riddler-Ku here is saying, you know, Legends EA is not a big deal. Even though Pokemon have been taking like extra time to make it. And as well as that, we're expecting it to be a big deal because of how quiet they're being about it. So it means that they're obviously putting, you'd like to think, so much more time and effort into it that it's just going to be this massive game that we're all really excited for. But on the other hand, this is just one person's opinion. You know, he's saying Legends EA is not a big deal. That might just be because he doesn't like Legends games. You know, everyone is entitled to their own opinion, and this is one leaker's opinion about the game. Like, he said loads of opinions about Generation 9, about, like, certain Pokemon and stuff. When he was giving out his riddles, it was like, oh, this one's not that good, this one's not that good. He might not like, I don't know, Veluza, for example, and it might be someone else's favorite Pokemon. If we had, like, 10 leakers all saying, oh, yeah, Legends EA, it's not a big deal, don't get excited for it, then fair enough, but it's just one person. So, I don't know why he said it. I'm still hoping it is a big deal, but again, it's just one person's opinion. So that's a little bit scary, but it is also something to kind of like take into account that it is apparently not a big deal. I mean, I think maybe he's saying it's not a big deal compared to Generation 10. Like, Generation 10 is going to be such a big game that maybe it's nothing compared to that, and that's why it's not a big deal. Who knows? But either way, that's also something that's come out. So Legends EA is not a big deal. Generation 10 very likely to be set in Italy. And also, we're going to be getting Legends EA news soon, according to Riddler-Ku. We also have Soul Silverheart kind of talking about this as well, breaking it all down. So originally, he was posting about the sort of Ikaku soon pre-OD sort of tweet. So he said, is it finally time? Exciting news in the spoilery world today. As I said yesterday, we are in the Pokemon Legends EA equals Ikaku news window. And Riddler-Ku just suggested news soon. I think pre-order means pre-orders for Legends EA incoming, so if that's true, then they will show us some kind of content in order to inspire people to pre-order. The only other thing I guess I can think of is period, spelled poorly, but that would still mean Legends EA news soon. My guess is next week, given the time frame of Riddler-Ku revealing this, but who knows? Either way, I'm hype about finally getting an update soon. And then also, yes, we have Powered Phil here saying pre-order equals Pokemon date revealed, or the release date revealed. Let's go. So, yeah, again, we have Soul Silverheart thinking it's also pre-order as well. Again, that was my first kind of reaction to it, but I'm more convinced it's pre-OD, like pre-October Direct, because that's not spelt differently, and it's a hint as well, like pre-October Direct. It's the so it's coming out before the Nintendo Switch to October Direct. That's just my personal opinion about that. But yeah, it could be pre-order as well. It really could be. But that's him talking about that. But then we also have him breaking down the kind of Generation 10 stuff as well. So he says, more spoilery world news today. Riddler-Ku gives a hint of a new Pokemon project with the kind of praying symbol. So it says, but what could the project be? Apparently, a lot of people guessed it, but also I'd say the biggest hint is he says it's the big one after Ikaku, Legends ZA. What could be a bigger mainline game than Pokemon Legends ZA? There's really only one option, and that's a new generation. He also says this new project will be on the Nintendo Switch 2, because he did say and you all know about the corresponding console, so we know it's going to be on the Switch 2. With all of that, I would imagine this hint is for Generation 10. The fact that he also said, like, near you to absolutely as well, like, that wouldn't be about anything else most likely. He replied, near you to absolutely, which I just think that the emphasis Absol put on the emoji means that Absol is close to the answer, or going in the right direction. I mean, it could also mean that as well, to be fair. I didn't even think about that. But all Absol really posted was kind of this, which I guess is more of a sort of pray. Like, this one's sort of praying, but this one gives more like religious feels because it obviously has like the sunlight, like the shining light behind it. So he could mean that, but he could also mean near you as in like location. Or near you could literally mean near where Absol is, though might be worth looking into. So again, could be next to Italy. However, I think the emoji is symbolic of a prayer. At least that's how it's always used. There's definitely more to it, and maybe I'll go into more detail in another post, but we don't know if this hint is a codename or a Generation 10 mechanic or a Pokemon or region. We all know from this, in my opinion, is that it could be related to a prayer or a culture based on prayer. So he says, lastly, Riddler-Ku confirms the new project is Pokemon related and not Pokemon Legends ZA, but he seems to be hinting that this new project will overshadow Pokemon Legends ZA. I would take Pokemon Legends ZA not being a big deal with a grain of salt because it's based on Ku's view, which is exactly what I just said. Like, it's just his opinion at the end of the day. But at the same time, Gen 10 and promo for it will easily far overshadow Legends ZA, especially because it's the 30th anniversary of Pokemon generations. I'm very much expecting a similar situation to Generation 9 and Pokemon Legends Arceus in terms of how much Game Freak care about the Legends games compared to new gen games. I'm sorry to all of you that want Legends games to get more attention, but they seem to just be games to figuratively replace remakes, or just to hold us over until the main course, a new generation game. As for Pokemon Legends EA, from unconfirmed whispers I've personally heard, I'm not too excited about it content-wise, but I'm obviously withholding judgment until we get some official info and gameplay. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know how reliable, like, Soul's sources are. I think he does have a couple of sources, because he has spoken about it on previous tweets and stuff, that he does have some certain connections and stuff, and he's saying from unconfirmed whispers he's not personally excited about the content wise, which also fills me with a little bit of worry. Like, does that mean that we're not getting any new Mega Evolutions? Because it's not been confirmed that we're getting any, we just know that Mega Evolution returns. So I'm a little bit worried about that in that sense, but at the same time, I just don't know how it can't be a big deal. Like, Legends Arceus was such a good game, so many people enjoyed it. Like, why wouldn't Legends EA also be a big deal? And then also we have Star here saying, if any of this is true, the Pokemon Company made a huge mistake. If Legends EA is no big deal, they probably didn't take a year off to work on Legends EA, but on Generation 10. Which leads me to think, why would they take 2024 off and not 2025, so that Legends EA lasts a bit longer, which is also very, very true. And I think your analysis here is very close to correct. I've explained how the dev process has worked in the past before, but it's always been true that Legends EA is not getting more dev time, depending on when it releases. I still think it will release next summer, which means it got 3 years and possibly like 2 to 4 extra months of dev time, depending on when they actually began working on it. However, there's Team B. Team A has been working on Gen 10 since Scarlet and Violet was complete, and they will get another year of dev time because most likely Generation 10 will release on the 30th anniversary year. But once that is over, I expect them to resume their normal 3-year dev time. It's probably only something special for the 30th anniversary, and I think it's just related to the console as well. You know, I think that I think Pokemon were like, we can't release Gen 10 on the Switch. It's not powerful enough. We have to wait for the Switch 2. The Switch 2 got delayed, so they obviously had to delay Generation 10 as well. Maybe that's why everything got delayed, because they want the Switch 2 to be the first, like, to be the console for Generation 10. Because, like, we all know how badly Generation 9 ran on the Switch. Imagine Generation 10 on the Switch. It'd probably start making the console smoke. Like, it just wouldn't be a good time. So, yeah, maybe that's why. It could be for the console, who knows. We'd also have Light tweeting about this as well, saying potentially the next core game after Legends EA will be codenamed Indus. We already have some Constellations and Stars as codenames, so these are updated codenames. So Black and White 2 was Swan, XY was Kajira, Auras was Sango, Sun and Moon was Niji, Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon was Momiji. Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee was Beluga. Sword and Shield was Orion. Sword and Shield EX was Rigel or Wriggle. BDSP was Delphis. Pokemon Legends Arceus was Hayabusa. Scarlet and Violet was Titan. Pokemon Legends ZA is Akaku. And then Generation 10 could be Indus. So they do just kind of name them after constellations and stuff, so potentially it could be Indus. I'm assuming we'll get the code name for it from Ridliku at some point anyway, because that's how he always kind of like talks about it. You know, he never says Legends, he always says Akaku, he always says the code name. So either way, that's all the stuff about Generation 10. What are your thoughts about it? Do you think it is going to be set in Italy? Do you think it's going to be set in India? Or do you think it's going to be set somewhere else? Let me know your thoughts about it. And also, are you worried now that people are saying that, you know, Ikaku's not a big deal, or are you still like really excited about it? I'm still obviously really excited about it. I think it'll be great, but we'll have to wait and see. But either way, that's everything from me. If you enjoyed, drop a like down below. Let's try and hit 500 likes. Leave a comment with your thoughts on anything we covered in today's video. Subscribe if you're brand new. Ring the notification bell for daily Pokemon content. Have a great rest of your day, and until next time, peace.